Hello, and welcome to an interview with my dad. This is my dad. Introduce yourself.
I'm Dad.
Okay.
also Mark.
Okay, this is very awkward because we don't know how to do this. But I'm going to be asking Dad questions since it's been a year since I hit my head. He has been my biggest caretaker, supporter, whatever, through this whole time. So I wanted to ask him some questions just to get his perspective on everything because I've only focused on me all the time. So let's see what he has to say. He has prepped the questions for about 30 minutes. And so he doesn't want to overthink it, but he feels very confident in his abilities, right?
We'll see.
Okay. Question 1. When I initially called you at around 4 a.m., when I hit my head, what did you think? What was your initial thought?
Initially, not much. It was startling to get. I was probably in a deep sleep, and it was more like being startled at coming out of the sleep was the big issue. I mean, with kids, there's broken arms and chipped teeth and stuff like that. It happens every now and then. So I wasn't like really scared. It was just like, okay, let's get you to the doctor and get it checked out.
Yeah.
It wasn't terror or anything.
I remember when we were on the phone and I told you, like, I hit my head and now I'm like passing out, nauseous, whatever. You went, oh, okay, I'll be right there. But it was probably because you were just like, that woke you up out of your sleep.
And then once we got here, I thought, well, this could be serious. So I remember driving faster than I wanted to down the interstate.
You drove really fast.
Yeah.
We got from my house to the hospital, which the hospital was not, we didn't go to the closest one. You just went to one. And normally that would have taken like, what,
15 minutes, yeah.
You got there very quickly.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
But
He was running red lights.
Yeah. It was the middle of the night, so we could speed down the interstate all we wanted.
Yeah. Okay, so I hit my head. We go to the doctor. They said I'm fine. We go through all that mess.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when I kept getting worse during the first few weeks?
Not much. In my mind, it was like you bumped your head really bad.
Yeah.
And it takes a couple weeks, a couple days to get better. So it's always like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So like the first 2 weeks were not good. And I thought, okay, it takes time. And there's like little trips and things. I was saying, well, don't cancel the trips. You'll probably still go.
Yeah.
And then just a continuation of the 2 week thing. 2 turned into 4 into 8. But I still thought it was a week. It was a week thing.
But were you impatient? Or were you just like, oh, we just got to deal with it?
Yeah. It may take. Wow. This is went on 8 weeks.
Okay. Well, I'll skip a few questions. In the beginning, the first 2 weeks, were you ever like worried or scared, or were you just like,
no, it's taking longer than it should.
Did those feelings change after I started eye therapy and going to Uncle Bubble?
Not really. It's like I was still hanging all my hopes on the medical doctor things.
Yeah.
I thought their eye therapy was worthwhile and it was doing good, but I didn't think it was like the fix. Like there should be, when you bump your head or something, the medical thing, you should be able to go out to a doctor, get a pill or get something that makes you better kind of soon.
You held on to that for a long time.
I did.
Yeah.
Even when we couldn't get a neurologist for a long time. And I was so not happy with that because I thought if we got you to a neurologist, the neurologist would know the special knowledge and what have you and, get you further along in a matter of, 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah. So when did you realize this was serious? At what point in this process?
Probably about November or so.
It took you to November?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because the 2 week things.
Yeah. So until we saw Olowinski?
No, I think a little bit before that. You went there was a real bad period. We were still seeing your general practitioner and just things
Every few weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably maybe week 12 or so.
That's about when I have a different experience, but I thought you started to understand how serious it was. Maybe like right after my birthday or like a few weeks after.
Maybe so. But somewhere late in I don't know the exact, but weeks and weeks into it.
It took you a while. That was the last one to kind of get on board that this was serious.
Yeah. And then I don't know what the event was, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like, yow, this is bad.
But like, what did you when you realized it was serious, what was going through your mind? What did you think?
Well, then it's a scramble to find the right doctor, to find the.
Then it was fix mode.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't like panic, sad, whatever.
Oh, it was fix. Get you to the fix.
That's
because at one point it was so bad. You were just curled up in your room for
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Okay, so what was, I guess during this first part, but also maybe in general, what was the hardest part for you?
That period, like the November period, when it's just, we'd go to a doctor and they'd say, well, we'll try this medicine. And I'd get my hopes up, and the medicine wouldn't work out. And then it was like another one and another one and another one. And it just seemed so like climbing up the hill kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you were still not getting better, weren't getting so much worse, but just still in that real dark place. And it just hurt so much to see in the dark place.
Okay, well, since you're talking about doctors, we might have to speak up a little bit because the air is on. Do you think my doctors have handled my injury well?
Very well and not well.
Yeah.
Really the emergency room people and the general doctor were kind of useless. The general doctor, he was like doing the 2-week thing. And of course that's all we knew. That's all we knew at the start.
Yeah.
And then eventually we get to people who actually know what they're, about this.
Yeah.
And they would start mentioning like the 1 year and 2 year periods. It's tough to hear, but it's turned out that's the better advice.
I think the general doctor might have made the situation worse.
I think so.
Just because they kept saying, you're fine, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think the hospital did all they could. I mean, they did a scan. That's like all they could do.
Yeah, you're not going to die here, so go away.
But the general doctor really didn't help.
Right.
Anything. Especially, I mean, do you remember the first, literally the first 2 to 3 weeks where, I mean, during the first 2 to 3 weeks is when I got really bad really fast. Yeah. And we'd go there like every week with a different thing and they still didn't.
Yeah, just say, well, it should take a week, it's taking 2 weeks, wait till week 3.
Yeah.
But what really helped is the friend who got you into the sports medicine doctor, that friend really did you a favor in putting us on to that doctor.
Yeah. Because we were getting very frustrated with.
Yeah, and this is the first doctor who had a clue of what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so you have kept a pretty positive mindset during this entire year in this situation. How have you been able to do that? Because I mean, it's been happening to me, so like I have a different perspective, but like I've had the very opposite of positive.
It's not something I consciously do. I'm just happy anymore. And it gives me the energy to be happy for you.
That's very sweet. But like anytime there's been like a new therapy or a new medicine or a new doctor, like you said, you get very excited, like this is the answer. And you get very like, oh, try this medicine if it works and whatever. How do you do that? Like, have you ever felt, because to me, I've had moments like this medicine's not going to work. We've already tried like 5 others. Like I haven't thought that way.
It's just coming natural. I mean, you will get through it. I mean, it's taken a lot longer than you want it to, and anybody else wants to. But I've never not believed that it'd get better. Yeah.
Sometimes your positivity has been very infuriating, but you've also been the only one that's been positive through this entire thing. Because although David is more positive than I am, he's still more. I don't know. I guess I just influence him a lot in my.
And you two are closer, so you might feel more at ease at being mean to him or showing him the dark side. You might filter it a little bit.
That's fair. Okay, so have you felt stressed during this entire time? If so, when?
During the dark time, like the November, December time, when you were just so sick. And then when the gallbladder stuff started up.
To me, you were more stressed during the gallbladder than you were with my head.
And it wasn't because of the gallbladder, it was because of the add-on thing.
Yes. But then there was kind of more of like a tangible, this is the answer to this one problem. Yeah. But then there was also more of a time bomb. Like this could explode in my body. And there was like, we were all on edge about it.
And at that time your head was really bad.
Because the gallbladder
and it's just piling on. I mean, either one of those events is bad. Yeah. But the gallbladder is not as exciting as the head bomb. The gallbladder, it's kind of a known thing. You do the test, they did X-ray, whatever, and they cut it out. It's a known thing. It happens all the time. People really, they've got it dialed in. They know what's happening. The head stuff is the opposite of that. It's kind of like, maybe.
Yeah, but you seemed much more stressed about getting the gallbladder fixed than you have
Well, no.
head.
Well, I was wanting you to get past the gallbladder.
Yeah, but to me, it seemed like we were on a quick time clock, like
Yeah.
of getting this.
Yeah, get it fixed so we can get back to the head.
You're very concerned about me eating and not being able
Well,
to
you
eat. I couldn't eat.
You couldn't eat.
I couldn't eat.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
And my head did get very worse. But have you ever felt stressed? Did I ask this question?
Yeah, the most stress was like the
Well,
November,
no, but
December.
have you ever felt stressed as in like, oh, I have to go to Laura's and help her do this, and I have to go to the
no.
grocery store, then I have to, on top of your other life
Oh no,
stuff.
that's not a thing.
You haven't felt like overwhelmed?
No.
Because I mean, even just recently, you had like a lot of stuff to do, just because you just had to. Did you ever feel like
No, just busy and tired, but
just busy?
not stressed.
Okay. I guess I just already asked this, but what was harder on you, my gallbladder or my brain injury?
Gallbladder was routine.
Yeah, but my head injury
Yeah.
has been harder. What have been some happy moments during this year?
The happiest moment is when you got to go to Hairspray and stay
Yeah.
for the whole show.
Yeah. And it was
That-
very sad.
I was very happy.
Well,
for
that's a happy moment, but it's also sad because you weren't there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had COVID and couldn't go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got the nasties.
yeah. But I was just so happy. That was kind of like the life is starting to start up. And then there's little things that happen every now and then. It's like Laura's sick of me saying this, but every time she does something new or add on, I'm saying a little bit better, a little bit better, and I mean it because I'm really happy for her when stuff starts coming back.
Yeah. I think for me, some happy moments have just been like, I haven't lived at home since I was 17. I mean, I came for Christmas break one school year, but ever since then, I've just been living by myself. And so to kind of live with a parent, but not really, sort of an in-between. And just because we had a lot of fun whenever like you moved out into apartments, and we just had a good, and it just kind of feels like that, a little bit more
yeah.
like grown up, but just like having you around and hang out with and do stuff and do stupid stuff, that's been really fun for me.
And I enjoy it too.
Yeah, because I don't think whenever you become an adult, you don't really like go back to your parents' house unless you become a real fuck up or something. So I didn't do that, but I still kind of get the parent experience without having to live with you, which I think you also enjoy that too.
Yeah.
Because you can go home and do your own thing and do whatever you want and then come back here. Okay. Have you ever felt like giving up?
Never once.
Never once.
Never once, honestly.
Giving up. Have you ever felt not giving up as in like, I don't want to do this, or you're not
No,
going to
not
give
me.
it, or
I'm
whatever.
talking about from your perspective. Like, is Laura doomed for? Is this thing just like, it's bad, it's doomed forever? And never once. It's always been, when will it get better?
Yeah. I think I've had a few moments of this isn't gonna get better, especially in the beginning.
And I'm proud of you for not taking that and running with it, because it would be so easy to get on a path of like, I'm it's pointless. I quit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that thought has crossed your mind, more than it should, but you
No, for
haven't.
sure. Well, what's made me think that is that because when you have a brain, like I've said this before, if you break your leg, you have to go to therapy to like do physical therapy, like fix the leg or whatever. But then like you can just like lay down and prop up your leg and not really think about it. You can't do that with a brain injury.
Yeah.
The only time the brain shuts off is when you're asleep. So like being awake, everything that you do is recovery, like is a type of therapy. And I've gotten really tired of just constantly being in recovery, like 24/7 every time I'm awake for a year. I've gotten really tired of that. And I wish I could have like a pause, like put my leg up, but I can't. I can just sleep. So that's when I've made, since the darkest time in like the beginning, like fall, that's just been my giving up thing. It's like, I just wish I could have like a day to not, I can't do that. How has this experience impacted our relationship?
For the better. We've always been close, closer than most, I would think. But being with you for all these days and through the bad times, I mean, I've really got to know you in a day-to-day kind of way.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that. Because parents usually don't get to hang out with their adult kids a lot. And you still love your kid even when the kid grows up to an adult.
Well, yeah. No, I think it has impacted us in a good way. And for the past few years, I mean, you've still been my dad, you still help me, but we've been more on like I guess like on a friend basis. You know, like we eat or we go watch a movie or like something like that. But this past year, you really, to me, I mean, you've always felt like a dad, but like really in a parent role as like being the caretaker. Yeah. And I haven't had a caretaker in quite a long time, you know. Yeah. And the caretaker before was not necessarily that didn't fulfill me in the nurturing way. So I almost feel like the little kid part of me who like didn't get taken care of has like gotten taken care of. It's been very sweet. Nice. Yeah, it's been.
I enjoyed doing it.
It's very fun, and I think it has us in a good way. I think we understand each other more. I think we're closer, and I think we just work together better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So if we travel together in the future, I think it would be a lot less stressful.
Yes.
Because we know how we operate. The thing that stresses me out the most about you, though, is where you put my shit in the kitchen. Because you put it in, you used to. So they would have to take care of everything. I couldn't cook or do anything. So for the first, like, 4 months.
Put the bowl in the wrong place.
4 or 5 months. The shit was just wherever. And then once I started to get back in the kitchen, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find a single thing.
Well, kitchen duty is back to you.
Yes,
now.
the kitchen duty is back to me. But you do something else in the kitchen see, this is what makes me feel like I'm living with my parent. You put the little like drain thing in the sink.
Side
No, you put it in the sink. So like the crumbs and stuff go in there, but then you don't clean up the crumbs.
Again, the kitchen is yours now.
Kitchen is mine. But no. Do you have any other thoughts? I thought this would take longer than it actually did. Do you have any other thoughts? Any questions for me?
I'm just I'm proud of you for the way you've handled all this. Because it'd be so easy, again, be so easy to take all the dark stuff and run with it. But you've chosen not to.
Yeah. Do you feel like, because I am in a completely different place than I was a year before, but do you think that we are looking back on the injury, or do you still feel like we're really still in the depth of?
Oh, I think you're at the end game.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the worst of it is over.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be really hard and challenging. Like, I'm not better. I'm not 100% better, so there's still
But you're a world better than you were.
Yeah, I am much better than that. So if you had to guess when I'm going to be better.
I think maybe February of next year you'll be.
Is that
and then lingering stuff might go on for a long, long time.
Yeah, they warned us of that.
Yeah, but I think you'll be operational.
Well, my goal is to drive by Christmas.
I think that's possible.
That's my goal. I don't think I'm gonna be 100% until this time next year.
I'll give you that. It's probable.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna take. I think there's gonna, because again.
And then a couple of years later, it might be like a really loud concert or a strong movie just wigs you out.
Yeah, that's what they've said. But I think what we understand as the problems that are now being fixed, where we think that's kind of once we fix these problems, but I think there's a whole new set of problems that we just haven't experienced yet, because I'm just not at a point to do it, or to get there. And so we'll have a whole new set of problems pop up, which has been really annoying for me. It feels like every time I do something good.
But I think you're being functional in the real world. I think that's just a few months out.
Or maybe, I mean, I don't want to jinx anything. Hope another organ doesn't explode or something. But maybe. It's still going to take a while. Okay. Well, thank you for being interviewed and giving your opinion on everything. You don't have anything else to add?
I'm done.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching this interview. I'll do one with David soon. I think I have to figure out when to do it with David so you get his perspective, because he has different. He has some questions that are similar.
I was going to ask, it's the same questions or some?
There's some that are similar and then some that are different.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to do that. But thank you for being on the channel. This is your first time on the channel.
It is.
Well, thank you for coming. All right. Well, I will see you later. Goodbye.